All right, time now for Focus, and today we have a report on the recruitment of terrorists in Pakistan. With religious schools known as madrasas under increasing surveillance, extremists have been turning to universities for potential recruits. Jasmine Lavoie and Taha Siddiqui sent us this report.
Campus takes place through means other than social media. Terrorist groups have found support from student unions that are backed by religious groups.
As you know, university admissions are about to begin. We will also set up admissions support camps to spread our vision to new students.
Islami Jamiat is the student wing of an Islamist political party. In the past, this student organization has been accused of providing refuge to al-Qaeda members. Their mission is to Islamize universities.
Our universities are influenced by Western values. We want students to return to the path of God and better understand Islam. Pakistan was created on the basis of Islam, and that's why we wanted to become a real Islamic republic.
They practice what they preach. They resort to violence if their strict interpretation of Islam is not respected. Last March, they attacked these students for celebrating a cultural festival. The message sent to Muzamil and the other victims was clear. Music and dance are contrary to the values of Islam.
They attacked us during our festival in front of police officers and university administrators. 8 of our members were severely injured, 1 week in intensive care.
Islami Jamiat Taleba, which claims to have nearly 40,000 members across the country, imposes its own law on several campuses across Pakistan.
They're so powerful that nobody dares to confront them. They take extortion money from cafeterias. They control dormitories, and sometimes even...
For more on this, I'm now joined in the studio by Azif Arif, a human rights lawyer who's written a book about minorities in Pakistan. Hello, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to start by focusing on that statistic at the end of the report on how 1 in 5 people being held on terrorism charges in Pakistan at the moment has a bachelor's or a master's degree, because we often think of poor, uneducated people being easy targets. So this is quite a surprising statistic, or is it not for you?
Well, actually, I think we should see it in two perspectives. First, on the attack on the Twin Towers, there were a guy who was a Pakistani, but he was an engineer, so he was a pretty educated person. And on the second hand, you have another evolution into the Pakistani society, which is the middle class. The middle class is getting higher and higher. So with this middle class becoming higher and higher, people need and feel the need to be more educated. So it is related to a couple of facts, actually. It's related also to the National Plan, Counterterrorism National Plan, launched in 2014 from the government, while they put madrasa into very severe surveillance, and terrorist group has to manage another way in order to radicalize people. And they taught about universities, which is a very big scope for them.
Are their motives similar, though? Because we heard an anti-terror official in our report talking about how for educated youth, often what appeals to them is fighting against corruption. Are the motives the same, whether you're educated or not, generally, to join a group, an extremist group?
I mean, a terrorist organization will always find some lack in the, it can be in the law, it can be in a social problem, social issues, and they will use it as a leverage in order to radicalize you. But the main thing is behind the veil. Who are these groups who are trying to do it? We mentioned the organization, the student organization of Jamiat Islami, and the student organization of Jamiat Islami is really important onto this university campuses.
So it's as powerful as a student said it was in our report?
Yes.
That it goes around doing pretty much whatever it wants without any punishment?
I definitely think so, because, for example, if you look back a couple of years, what happened with the bus, when the Ismailis community, a lot of Shia has been targeted into a bus. It was from a couple of students related to Sipahi Sahaba, Lashkar-e Jangvi, all these groups who are pretty radicalized groups. And when you look back at what happened with the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, for example, it is related also with these groups who are who are actually using the blasphemy laws in Pakistan in order to say we need to be more conservative. And the problem is political party in Pakistan, they are also getting more and more conservative. For example, PMNL, which is the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, is going really conservative on this blasphemy issue. And at the same time, PTI, which is the party of Imran Khan, he is going very conservative on this issue too. So the Islamist party, who was Jamiat Islami, who are losing the ground and losing on the field, how they can do in order to continue to have an influence on the political sphere. It is through university, it is through destabilization of the country. So these are all the fact that we need to look into it in order to understand it.
Now, our team in Pakistan for that report spoke to a university official, a vice-chancellor, in fact, who talks about this would-be female suicide bomber. And he seems to talk about it in a very matter-of-fact manner, saying, oh, it's not just our university. These extremist groups are able to recruit in many different universities around the country. Why is it, do you think, that he can speak about it in such a matter-of-fact manner? Is it tolerated? Is it just something that's accepted? How do you explain that?
Well, the problem is, these people, again, they are using the blasphemy rhetoric in order to diffuse their radicalized ideology. So, and when you see...
Because of these laws that there's no punishment when we see people beating other people because they're dancing and singing. But there is not. But this is a big problem in Pakistan, you know. What you can say to some people, because you need to understand that we are in Pakistan. We are in a country who is really attached to the Islamic ideology. Because if there is no Islamic ideology, according to these people who are actually beating up students, if there is no Islamic ideology in Pakistan, there is no Pakistan. Even though the founder of Pakistan has said you are free to go to your temple, to your church or to your mosque. So he portrayed a pretty secular country in his view. But the thing is that since